Hi everyone. I am, oh my god, I look like hell. Okay. I'm currently crying. I'm going through a thing, but I'm going to tell you my story. I am 48 years old. I was a huge runner for 27 years, 28 years. I ran pretty much every day of my life. There was maybe 2 days a month that I took off from running. It was my life. It was my escape. It was my safe zone. Not only did I run, but I worked out pretty hardcore. And when I say hardcore, I mean, I'm sorry, I have to move the camera. When I say hardcore, I mean, by the time I was done working out, you could take my sports bra and you could wring it out. That's how sweaty I would get. I would work out for about 2 hours a day. Sometimes 2.5. And the entire time I was working out, my heart rate would be, I don't know, 150, 160, 170, sometimes creeped up to 180. The point is that I worked out a lot. It was my thing. It's what I did every single day. To start my day, I did it every morning. I'd wake up, I'd have 2 cups of coffee, I'd go downstairs, or I'd go to the gym, or I'd go outside and I'd run, and I'd work out hardcore. Okay. So July 8th, last July, I was outside, and I have these stupid landscaping rocks, these little rocks out that go all the way around my house. I bent over and I picked up one. And I felt a pain in my back. And I was like, oh shit. Now mind you, I've had back pain before. I've had sciatica before. I've experienced pain a million times during my 27, 28 years of working out hardcore. Knee pain, back pain. There were times where I'd have to take a break because of back pain. So I bent over and I picked up this rock and I was like, oof, that did not feel good. And my pain was on the left side of my spine, not on my spine, towards the left side and low. And so I went to the doctor. They gave me steroids, they gave me muscle relaxers, blah, blah, blah. I didn't take any of that shit because I don't like taking drugs. I don't like taking meds. So I didn't take anything. And then, after I did this, back up a little bit, after I bent over and picked up the rock, I took the next 3-4 days and I didn't work out. I was doing other things like washing the car, cleaning the house, blah, 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 blah. I was doing all this stuff. But I was just taking it easy because I was like, ooh, this didn't feel good, something's not right. Well, then I decided the following Monday to run a 10K. It wasn't a race or anything, it's just what I do. So I went to the elementary school here in town and I ran a 10K around the track. I felt okay, felt fine. And then the following morning, I was like, okay, well, I'm good. I woke up and I did an intense workout that is one of those Shaun T insanity workouts. Well, I did it for 2 hours. And I felt pain while I was doing it, but I just fought through it. I was like, we'll be fine. Well, after my workout, the pain started to get really bad, and then that's when I went to the doctor, and this was a Tuesday. And they gave me all the drugs and everything. Didn't take any. And then time goes on, and about a week and a half later, I went to a PT appointment because they set me up with PT too. And he showed me that movement was okay, you know, because I was afraid to move. I had all this fear to move because I was afraid I was going to fuck up my back even more. So I got some confidence back, and then I started walking again. So I was walking, you know, I was like, I'm going to take it easy, but I was speed walking. So I started walking about 2.5, 3 miles, 4 miles per day. Then one day I'm sitting at my desk and I'm working, and I leaned forward, and all of a sudden there was a sharp pain in my back. And I was like, oh crap. Then I was out. I had to like message, because I work from home, I had to message my supervisor and say, hey, I'm done. Like, I gotta lay down. I gotta take care of this back thing. Well, it got really intense, and it got very painful. And so I laid in bed for, Jesus, a week, probably. And then I had to go on vacation for my daughter. We had planned this birthday vacation to Wisconsin Dells. So I went there. I was barely moving. I was barely standing up. And my body was locked up. I was in so much fear, and my body was just tense, and I couldn't relax. And I had really bad anxiety about it. Fast forward, my doctor sends me to a neurosurgeon. They gave me an MRI, and they saw that I had a disc bulge in my L5 and an annular tear in my L4. So I was like, okay, this is what's wrong with me. Now I have to stop bending, lifting, and twisting. BLT is what they tell you. No bending, no lifting, no twisting. So I locked my body up straight. My abs were locked up. My shoulders were locked up. Everything I was doing to protect my back. And I started walking daily again. And I went and saw a neurosurgeon, and the neurosurgeon said, your pain's not coming from your back. This isn't going to cause you this much pain. And I was like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? Yes, this is my problem. I have an MRI. It shows my disc bulge. Nope. He said, nope, it's not coming from your back. So he refers me to another doctor, and that doctor says, you either have piriformis syndrome or you have SI joint dysfunction. So the pain started to progressively get worse. I was starting to limit myself from walking. I was starting to really slow down. I was starting to not do housework. I started to not do the things that I would normally typically do in a day. And I started to experience more and more pain. And I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? So they gave me injections for piriformis syndrome. Did absolutely nothing for me. And that's when I started to go down. That's when I started to not walk, not move. The pain was so intense. And I just laid around all day. And I was in pain while I was laying. I was in severe pain. My whole body was in pain. And I was tensed up and I was locked up. Couldn't move. Literally did not hardly move. For about, I don't know, 6 weeks, 7 weeks at that point. Mind you, I hadn't moved much prior to that. I was walking, but I wasn't moving my body in a way that it should have been moving. I was straight up and down, rock hard, clenching, holding everything together to avoid injuring myself more. I was doing the bare minimum PT exercises, which were 3 a day, and they were stretches. So then they gave me SI joint injections on Halloween, October 31st. I had SI joint injections, bilateral, both sides. And my doctor put me on Cymbalta, an SSRI. And I knew I had myofascial pain. I had trigger points throughout my entire body. And I'm not joking when I say my entire body. I had trigger points in my glutes, severely in my glutes, in my hamstrings, in my thighs, in my arms, my stomach. When I would press on it, the psoas muscle right next to your belly button was rock hard, and there was a trigger point, and that was out throughout my abdomen as well. I had trigger points on my calves. So I started foam rolling like it was my full-time job. Started foam rolling. I started doing the tennis ball work. I obsessed about this. This is what I did all day, every day of my life for about 3 weeks straight. All I did